Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about an iconic summer fresh fragrance that I personally consider a must-have in anyone's collection, and I'm talking about light blue. Yes, I am holding the intense one just because I don't want to show like the minis that I have of the original one. And it's not a review of this fragrance. I think everybody knows about it. I am going to talk about all the fragrances that I personally have in my collection and that I have smelled that gives the same vibe. So maybe you don't like about light blue the longevity, or there is a note that you don't like, then this video is definitely for you. But before going through all the alternatives, if you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura, and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. So if you are a fragrance lover, then please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Also follow me on Instagram, where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. And without further ado, let's start. I know I look a little bit strange today. It's just I am filming at night, so actually it's all artificial light. And I have this makeup on now for hours and hours, and it's hot and humid and I'm tired, but I just wanted to finally film this video because I know that in the coming weeks and in the coming month I will not be able to film any videos. So let's start with the iconic light blue, and it's an iconic fresh summer fragrance that a lot of people love and swear by, and it's all about a lemon and this crisp Granny Smith apple and a musky cedar base. This is quite a clean, fresh, has almost an aquatic feeling to it. And maybe this is why it's called a light blue. It doesn't have any aquatic notes in it, but it just gives me the feeling. So I find like the color is perfectly fitting for this fragrance. This fragrance was created back in 2001. This is how old this fragrance is. So it's more than 20 years ago that Olivier Crisp created this fragrance, and it was immediately a hit. And I think till now it's a big hit. And since then, they came out with so many flankers. So usually Dolce & Gabbana comes out each year with a new flanker of light blue. The only two that are permanent in the range is the original one and the Intense, which I have a bottle of. Now, I am not going to talk about the flankers, but to all the fragrances that I have smelled, that's when I researched, found people compare to light blue. And I'm specifically speaking about Love Osmanthus from Atelier Cologne, Women from Calvin Klein, Cedre Atlas also from Atelier Cologne, and Juliet Hazegan Moscow Mule. And also I Love from Moschino that I have, but I don't know where did I misplace the bottle. So sorry, but I'm really familiar with this fragrance because I love it and I wear it almost on a daily basis during summer. So I tested all these fragrances, and some are really similar to the original light blue, and some are not so much. Although all of them give me the same vibe, so they are fresh, light, and citrusy, lemony summer fragrances. So first, let's talk about all the similarities between all the fragrances that I am talking about, and then go through the differences. First similarity is the lemon note that you can notice in all of these fragrances. It's the common theme in all of them. It's this beautiful lemon, fresh, slightly sweet lemon note. Then we have also the cedar that is a common note in all of them except of Moscow Mule, which has woody notes. So not such a big difference. Another common theme in all of them, even when it's not declared in the notes, is the musky note. And this is especially noticeable in a light blue, the original one. The only one that doesn't have such a musky feeling is Love Osmanthus. Another common thread in all of them is the combination of, as I said, this lemon, cedar, and musk, and then some floral touch and some sweetness. So the floral touch in most of them is jasmine, or some white flower. Some have more rose or lily of the valley. Love Osmanthus, of course, has Osmanthus, but the feeling, the combination of these elements together, and all of them give me the same feeling, some more than others. So you can see there is a common DNA in all of them. The sweetness in all of them comes from fruity notes. So we have the iconic Granite Mist apple in light blue and light blue intense. We have in Love Osmanthus, the Osmanthus, which gives an apricot feeling, especially in the drawdown, you can really get it. In the case of I Love Love, it has, I think, red currant. And in the others, there are some red fruits, so there is raspberry. So there's always this sweet, fruity touch in all of them. So as you can see, all of these fragrances have a predominant lemon opening, and they have in the mid this floral touch and also some fruitiness. And in the base, they have cedar and musk. And the whole composition gives you an aquatic, fresh fragrance, perfect for the summer. I would say the only one that doesn't give me such an aquatic feeling is Love Osmanthus. It doesn't give me much of this aquatic feeling. So it's very natural when someone smells any of these fragrances the first time would immediately think about light blue because of these common elements. However, when you test them side by side, you will get the differences. Some are very, very close to light blue and some are quite different. So let's start with the one that is the most distinct, I would say, the one that is the most far away from light blue, and that is Cedar Atlas. Now this is more of a woody fragrance. It gives me more of a feeling of Juliet Has a Gun, not a perfume superdose, but more complex and more woody in a way. So as you can see also from the name, the cedar is quite predominant here. And it's more clean than anything else. This fragrance really gives me this very clean feeling. It's also fresh. But I can use any of these fragrances interchangeably. But if we have to compare them, this is more clean, it's more simplistic, and all of them are unisex, by the way, but this is definitely leaning masculine to me. And I would say it's more similar to Moscow Mule and the Women from Calvin Klein than to Light Blue and the next one that I feel is quite far away in the spectrum when we talk about similarities with light blue is Women from Calvin Klein. I have here the Eau de Parfum, by the way. And this one, at first I thought it's so similar to light blue. But then when I tested these two side by side, I noticed how more on the masculine side is Calvin Klein Women, which is kind of weird because the name is Women, but to me this is, yes, unisex, but like Cedar Atlas, it definitely leans on the masculine side. It could be because of the eucalyptus note and the pepper. It has this sharpness to it that I don't like. Actually, this fragrance I decluttered. I only kept it for this video and then it will be gone from my collection, and I can't understand the name at all. Anyway, so this is, yes, more similar to light blue, but again more on the masculine side, and has this sharp spiciness, this sharpness to it, and it's the one that smells the most cheap of all of them. So Calvin Klein Women. Next one is Moscow Mule, and I feel like this one is different to light blue, not because of the notes, of how it smells, it's because of the composition. It has this airiness to it. So this is again one that is not very aquatic. It doesn't give me this aquatic feel. It has this airy feeling to it, and is also on the clean side if we have to compare them. It's one of the fragrances that I go to when I want to feel clean. So it has a little bit of similarities with light blue, yes, but it's still not similar enough. So I would say this is again one that is quite different to light blue, although, as I said, they give the same feeling, the same vibe. With these two out of the way, the rest are very, very similar, let me tell you. So let's start with Love Osmanthus from Atelier Cologne. Some people swear that this is a perfect dupe of light blue. I wouldn't consider it a dupe because this is more expensive, but anyway, I will disagree. So they have a lot of similarities. I will give it that. So you have, again, the cedar, you have the lemon. Here there is not a lot of musk, and it's exactly what I like about Love Osmanthus. It doesn't have the muskiness of the original light blue. It is more floral. It's definitely more sweet. So they declare only 3 notes. There's definitely more notes than that. And yeah, it's the sweetness. It's the sweetness in this fragrance that makes it, to me, very, very special. It doesn't have the aquatic feeling of light blue, as I said. It's sweet and floral, but it's still very, very, very fresh. And I love to wear this in the summer. Actually, I prefer this one to light blue. And as I said in my buying guide of Atelier Cologne, where I went through all the alternatives, I said that the best alternative to Love Osmanthus is light blue. And this is definitely true. To be very clear, light blue is the best alternative to Love Osmanthus, but Love Osmanthus is not the best alternative to light blue. I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, love this fragrance. In the very dry down, you will get this apricot-y feel, which for some reason I never got. And recently with the heat, we have this heat wave, I am getting this apricot in the very dry down, you know, this sweet apricot-y touch comes really, really out, to the point that I actually started to wear a light blue intense instead of this one in this when it's very hot, because it was too sweet for me. So overall, this is a sweeter, more floral, less musky version of light blue. However, the one that is the most similar to the original light blue is actually Moschino I Love Love. And a good explanation for that is it is created by the same perfumer, Oliver Crisp. And the only difference I would say between light blue and I Love Love is I Love Love has again this sweetness, but it's totally a different kind of sweetness. It's very sugary sweetness that is present in I Love Love, and it does have sugar in the nose. So it almost smells even more synthetic than light blue. So I would say Women and I Love Love are the most synthetic from all the fragrances I am talking about. But still, I love it. So it's synthetic, but yet very attractive in a way. It's a synthetic fragrance that you wouldn't mind. I love it. I use it a lot during summer. Also, especially I would say inside the house. So when I am at home and I'm no cleaning or doing some activity and I just want to feel this burst of freshness and feel a little bit uplifted, I go for I Love Love. So I Love Love is a more sugary, sweet version of light blue, if that makes any sense. Now let's talk about light blue intense. And I definitely like this one to the original one. Why? Because it's more fresh, less musky, and also has a better longevity. So overall, I recommend the intense version to the original one. However, I know that for some people this can be a little bit on the masculine side because it lacks the sweetness that the original one has. The original one has a little bit of this musky powderiness, almost like a sugary coating musky note. It's very strange. This one doesn't have it, and this is the most aquatic one. To me, this is an aquatic fragrance, although it doesn't have any aquatic notes, but it gives me this feeling. The bottle, the color is the perfect representation of this smell. So I love it. And of course, this is quite similar to the original one. It's a flanker after all. So very, very similar to the original one. Now let's talk about performance. And again, here is where you will get a lot of differences. So the original light blue is notoriously on the weak side when it comes to performance. It's weak longevity. It does not last, at least on my skin, at all. And it has, I would say, for this short period of time, a weak to moderate sillage, while the intense version to me has a solid moderate longevity and sillage. I, for the longest time, thought that it doesn't perform much better than the original one, and I don't know why. Maybe I get anosmic very quickly to the scent, but I noticed more than once that people would smell me and actually notice the fragrance and compliment me on it, although I thought that I couldn't smell it anymore. So this has a solid moderate longevity and sillage for me, so it's worth it in my book to go for the intense if you don't mind the amped up freshness and that it's less sweet than the original one. I Love Love, on the other hand, is in between the original one and the intense version. It has, when it comes to longevity, weak to moderate. So it's not as long lasting as the intense version. And when it comes to sillage, it has the same scent trail like the intense. So I would say if you want the most similar fragrance to light blue, but with better longevity, and you don't mind it to be a little bit more sweeter, then definitely go with I Love Love. If you want something that is even fresher than the original one, then go with the intense. When it comes to I Love Osmanthus, I would say it has moderate longevity and sillage, but still, if I have to compare these two, definitely the intense lasts longer and projects more. So I would say this is the fragrance that if you want a more floral take on the original light blue and more of a fruity sweetness, then Love Osmanthus is definitely for you. And when it comes to Moscow Mule, I really am struggling to tell you about performance because, again, this is one of the fragrances that I'm a little bit anosmic to. So sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't get it. So most probably it has ambroxan in the notes. And Juliette Hasgan uses a lot of ambroxan, so I wouldn't be surprised. So I can't really give you my opinion on longevity. So to sum up, all the fragrances that I talked about have a common theme in them that gives them this fresh, citrusy, aquatic feeling during summer. They have lemon, musk, and cedar as common notes in all of them, with a hint of freshness and sweetness. The original light blue has a lot of lemon, Granny Smith apple, and musk. What really differentiates this fragrance is the muskiness. And on my skin, I get a little bit of this powdery sweetness in it, just a hint of it, which makes it quite special. But this is exactly what I don't like about it. And the two that are very, very different to light blue, although they give the same vibe and feeling, is Atelier Cologne Cedre Atlas and Calvin Klein Women. This is a fail for me. I don't like this fragrance at all because of the sharpness in it. Cedre Atlas I love, but it gives me more of a clean feeling. It's definitely more woody and more on the masculine side. Now, if you want something very fresh and clean, but less woody, then I would say Moscow Mule is the perfect option. As I said in my clean girl fragrances, both Moscow Mule and Cedre Atlas give me this clean feeling. I love to wear them after the shower, so I feel clean more than anything else. Now, if you want an amped up floral version of the original light blue, a little bit more on the sweetness from the fruits, I would say go with Love Osmanthus. It has this Osmanthus apricot-y touch, especially in the dry down. Now, if you want an even more fresher version of light blue with an amped up lemon note and a little bit less musky, the intense version is for you. And if you want a sweeter version of the original one, then definitely go with I Love Love, also for the better performance. So light blue is the weakest of all of them, and I always advise to get the intense version and not the original one. However, now you have more options, so maybe the intense version is a little bit too on the masculine side because it's very fresh, it's very unisex. Then yeah, you have now more option. You can go with I Love Love or Love Osmanthus that are a little bit more on the feminine side because of the floral and sweetness in them. So that was it. Please tell me in the comments down below which one of these is your favorite, or do you have another one maybe that I didn't smell that is very similar to light blue? Please tell me in the comments down below. I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful, and if you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Ciao.